Hello everyone, and welcome to Dreamer Talks. My name is Abby Volkovich, and I'm your host. It is my job on this podcast to introduce you to dreamers from many different fields and walks of life. It is important to note that we can learn many things from the people we surround ourselves with. This is why I have ventured out to interview dreamers who are willing to share their journey with us. Today, our guest is Shanti Ashanti. Shanti was named after her family nonprofit organization, the Shanti House, a rare shelter for youth at risk. She was raised with 40 different brothers and sisters at any given time. As Shanti matured, she started working as a mentor in the organization, helping the troubled youth choose life and guiding them to make their dreams a reality. As an artist and entertainer on stage and screen, Shanti played many roles in her professional acting career in Israel and in the USA. Most recently featured in the major motion picture Jarhead 4, Law of Return, a Universal Productions premiered on Netflix. With years of professional experience acting on stage and screen, Shanti discovered that singing demands a different kind of courage, one that solely depends on the strength of your voice. Possessing the strength of song invigorated her, so for the past couple of years, she has been writing, composing, and singing. Last year, her first single, Fall in Love, was released with a unique music video directed by renowned Israeli photographer and music video director Daniel Kaminsky. Her second single, Animal, is coming soon, and this is just the beginning of her journey. Without further ado, I give you Shanti Ashanti to tell us her story. Enjoy. Welcome everyone to another episode of Dreamer Talks. I'm here with Shanti Ashanti, who is an acclaimed actress, singer, and dancer. I will let her get into her story herself so we can hear everything, all the great accomplishments that you've gotten to this point.
Right.
And what comes for the future. So please tell us a little bit about yourself, a small little intro.
All right. I'm Shanti Ashanti. I was born and raised in Tel Aviv. My family, my mother founded a home for youth that escaped from their home and been through abuse, and they are runaways. And I was born in this house that helped them. And lucky me, I was named after the house, Shanti. So the name of the house is Shanti House, and me and the house, we kind of came together. And I grew up with more than 60,000 youth at risk through the years. And while I was doing that, I was going to my dancing classes, and I was doing my art in the theater. And I always had this world that is combining this very dark, extreme history that victims choose life, and my art and stage, that's where I have my own space to explore my extreme. And while I was growing up, I started working in the house and help my mom, and I'm lucky enough to have the tools to help youth. So I was doing that with her. And one of the things that we teach them and we ask them when they come to our home is, what is your dream?
Wow.
Because in a dream you have the seed of passion for life. And when you come from a place when you have nothing and you have no passion for life, the only way to start that passion is to actually ask the simple question, what is your dream? So while I was doing that, while I was working with them, while I was helping them to discover simple dreams like living better, have something to eat and a stable life, to have work, to go to the army, to finish school. Those like simple dreams become everything for certain people. While I was doing that, I was still doing and pursuing what was making me
Your own dreams.
Yeah, what made me feel fulfilled, what made me go beyond my limits and explore my being as an artist. And while I was doing that, I understood that if I teach people and other people, other souls to go after their dreams, I have to give them an example. So if I tell them to go a certain distance beyond their demons and fears, to do a simple thing, to wake up and do something for their dream, I'm obligated to do that. And I'm lucky enough that I understood that I need to do it from a very young age. So from dancing and doing a BA in theater and dancing, I went to New York for a vacation. Actually, I wasn't supposed to stay in New York, and I was supposed to start acting school in Israel, Yoram Levinstein, and I was paying already. I paid already.
Okay.
And once I was a week in New York, I felt the electricity and that thing that makes you want to
New York.
New York. You can't. That pace, that the fact that nothing is too big, nothing is too small, nothing is too extreme. You have to, if that's part of what you're looking for as an artist and a human being, to know beyond what you know, it's a great place to explore. You're gonna get a lot of shit, a lot of into trouble. You'll get into a lot of trouble, but it's worth it, because for me, it was basically restructuring myself.
Right.
So I basically said to the school, bye-bye. I took the money, found an apartment, found a job, found my acting school, Strasberg Technique, with John Anthony, and started studying in a foreign language where I didn't even know how to put a sentence together. So that was a big thing. And just started to follow my dream. My dream wasn't to just, I'm going to be the most famous actress in New York. It was just trying to discover what I can become, who I can become if I'll do this. And step by step, I discovered what I want. Sometimes you don't know what is your dream from the beginning. Sometimes you have an idea of a dream, and sometimes if you stick to it too long, you miss all the other dreams that can come true in the road. You know, you can have them, and a lot of people become slaves of their dreams. You know, and there's
how would you make that call? Do you know what I mean? Like when you've glued yourself to a dream too much and you can lose yourself in it, where you don't give others an opportunity.
Well, I'll start with the fact that I was studying in New York for 2 years, and then I started doing my auditions, and I was lucky enough that my first audition, I got a lead role in a movie for Netflix that was supposed to be a show for BET channel. I was one of the leads. I was third in the credits. You know, I had this entire big thing going on. And I found myself like in the big league really fast, and I had my own trailer, and you know, that dream that everybody's like, oh my god, you know, you have two people following you and asking you what do you need, I'm like well, I just need water, you know. It's like simple stuff. Well, if you need anything, let us know. So you have that, and you do that, and you accomplish that moment that is bigger than life for you. But then life goes on, and you have to continue to build the next step and the next dream and the next stage of who you're becoming. And if you're getting stuck with, I'm supposed to be now a big star because I did this lead role, which is like, I know how many people are like doing so much work to get to that point where you have that.
Right.
But if you're getting stuck with the idea that now you have to get all the big roles, and now you have to do, only like, first league
Right.
projects. You get lost. Your essence as a human being. And before your dreams, there is you. The dreams are part of life. Dreams are moments, peak moments in life. Life it's the road. It's the day-to-day where you build small things. My English was so broken when I started, and one of my dreams was to sound the way I sound today.
Right.
I did a lot of work to do that. It wasn't easy. Like, acting come to me easily as an artist. Like, it's the emotions, the character, I just understand.
Right.
But when it came to the language, when it came to the accent, it was like, it was a different language in every scale.
The way school teaches a language
Right.
is a certain way. How would you describe maybe school is the right approach, the way the education system does it. How would you go about telling someone that wants to learn a new language to even master that accent? Because a lot of people always come to a country and they feel nervous because they have that accent.
Right. Well, I discovered there are so many ways. There are some people who have talent for sounds, and they know how to imitate or make fun of other people with the sounds. So if you watch TV and you know how to imitate like Southern accent and all those those little moments of the nuance.
You can start talking like a British person.
Yeah, I can't. But if you are starting to making fun of the accent, gradually you can do that. Singing music, the melody. That's for like a very basic concept of learning sounds of the accent. For me, it wasn't natural. I wasn't talented for that. So I did for like 3 years exercises of tongue. And after I did the tongue exercises and after reading out loud for hours, I also needed to learn how to think in English and how to go to make the sound like fluid,
Right.
And how now I know that in the American accent it always goes down, like small details. And now every accent that I listen to, I'm very now I'm very talented in it because I practice. It wasn't like, it wasn't magic and it came to me and now I'm like, yeah, I know English like this. No, I was barely putting 2 words together.
Right.
So sometimes when you have a dream, not sometimes, most of the time you'll need to work really hard. And most of the time you won't see any progress for 2 years, for 3 years. And then it happens. There was a moment when I came to somebody after like 3 years practicing and I said, I need to work on my American accent. And then he told me, but you have an American accent. So, and then sometimes you make your dream come true and you don't even notice.
Right.
So that's it's funny. Life is funny because you can run after your tail, and sometimes if you're so focused,
On perfection, yeah.
you'll miss the whole picture. Exactly.
Yeah.
And dreams are not about perfection or about that idea of all those, just being an A-list will make me an actress. Just being the most famous person will make me qualified. I am qualified. I am an actress. I did my work. I'm developing my skills every day, and I'm lucky enough to discover new things about me because of it. Because I'm not stuck about how it's supposed to be and then become bitter about the things that I don't have. I'm focusing about what I have and what I need to do.
Right. I think I really agree with that point that the place where you are right now, you have to move forward with it.
Right.
A lot of times, I think people can have that paralysis of, no, I'm not that A-list actor. I'm not this. They can use that as an excuse
Right.
to not even take that first jump
Mhm.
and take that leap, do whatever they need to do to continue forward. I want to actually ask you about the leap to move to New York.
Right.
How that challenge, that decision.
What was I thinking?
Yeah.
That was what I was saying.
I mean, you were already accepted. You already had a path set out for you.
Right.
Talk to that point of.
Well, after like I did that role, I was very surprised, but I had a lot of great feedback from my coworkers, people that work in the industry for a long time. They really wanted to promote me,
Mhm.
but my English was still broken at that time. I had a very thick Israeli accent, so I was not limited. You know, Gal Gadot is doing amazing with the accent, and it's great. But when you come from, you know, I had no representation. I was accepted because of my talent. You know, it was like, it's almost unbelievable today. It happens, but you know, it's harder.
Right.
And from there, I had a lot of network and business learning to do. Sometimes what you want to do, you know, my love for acting, for art, for stage, for storytelling is really pure. But in the real world, you have to do a lot of things that you don't want to do in order to promote it. In today's world, you're also your business, if that's what you want to do. And if that's what you want to do, you have to learn things that are less interesting for you. Like, you know, networking, like promoting yourself on Instagram, on social media, like knowing the right people, like know what to say and how to sell yourself. Mm-hmm. Now, for me, selling myself was one of the hardest things to do. When I was sending an audition, it's like I'm doing like few takes, I have the audition. When I need to present myself, it took me like 10 takes because I got so stuck. And what is like this? It's like that's how I would sound. And it'd be funny because, you know, it's like, how can you do this so, you know, well, and you want to be in front of the camera, but when you need to speak about yourself, you get stuck so much.
I want to.
Yeah.
I mean, I also did acting back in high school. I was a drama major. So to that point, a lot of times we had this conversation in my drama class once that you sometimes can get lost in your character that you're playing, and it can be easier to be your character at points.
Yes. Yes, definitely. For me, for sure. It's definitely easier for me to put a character on, and you know, you will never know. Yeah,
I think it's because the character is a little bit more safe. Safe, exactly. It's not your vulnerabilities. It's
her vulnerability. Yeah. That's, you know, artists do have some problems, you know, and I'm way better with presenting myself, and you know, you see, that's what I do right now. And I'm more comfortable with who I am. It took me time to understand that as more comfortable I'll be with myself, as a better artist and actor I would be. So that's why I did this jump, and I studied how to do that, how to come to the real world and to really take myself seriously. Not because I have self-importance, because it's important for me. My dreams are important for me, and it's important enough that I'll learn how to present myself to the world. Mm-hmm. It's not, you know, it doesn't come from an ego place. I'm so important and you need to know. It's about just really being
the necessary steps to achieve what you want to achieve.
Exactly, and get over yourself. Mm-hmm. You know, get over yourself. It's also, you know, the fear is also an ego. No, I'm an artist. I don't need to know that. I don't really need to do those things of business. No, you do. Especially in this world. Everybody is doing everything now. You have the initiative to create something, and it will have an audience. Right. You know?
Yeah, it's about taking that first step, and
it's not just the first step. The hardest thing is after you succeed once to keep doing this and being able to recreate yourself every time. Like it's the first time. And that's something that, you know, it's very easy to do copy paste from things that a lot of successful people do. And it will work because it will be a great gimmick, but then you're dependent on something else. If you want to lead your life with your spine and your voice in the world, it probably will be a little bit harder because it will mean that not everybody will connect. It doesn't even, like, sometimes it's not that relevant to the cool things that are going on. But still, if you stick to your truth and your voice and the small actions that you need to do, it will touch someone. And if you do that, you made a miracle because you touched somebody else and from a pure place. That's how I look at art, acting, approaching people. And
I mean, that's how you grew up also, right?
Right.
With influencing the children that would come to the Shanti House. And
absolutely.
I think that's an amazing thing you can bring to the acting world, that purity and pushing others to that, you know? I feel like a lot of times in Hollywood, it could just be searching that fame, that point, and the other things could be missed.
Acting is a very self-involved work, you know, because you're your business and you have to look at the way you look and the way you speak and the way, you know, you dress, and you need to promote yourself, and, you know, and if you're getting bigger and bigger, it becomes a lot about you. And for me, it's very important to keep it balanced because, again, if I'll do great movies, and I really hope so, because, you know I believe that I was meant to do that. But I get lost as a human being. So I'll finish the shoot and it will be a great movie, but then I'll go to sleep with myself in my bed and I need to live with myself. So that's where, when I make small choices to always balance between my focus about myself and what I need to do in order to promote myself and give to others as well. And a lot of times, giving to others always, actually not a lot of times, it brings back to me.
Yeah, it's in a way, it's a little
inspiring,
bit selfish.
It's a little bit selfish,
it's both.
Yeah, because they are like, well, a lot of their actions of those youth that, you know, go against the DNA of a victim and become warriors of life every day, and I help them, but I'm with them and I see them do that. It gives me the strength, it gives me the inspiration to go beyond, to do beyond, and to become. And I don't know, the rhythm of life today is so confusing, especially with the corona and not corona and war and then the situation in the United States, and everything is there's so many noises. And you know, I for me, every time I try to go back to that simplicity of your inner voice of love and truth, and that's it, of being and doing your best.
Right.
After finishing my chapter in New York, where I did a lot. I did theater, I did the acting, I did some movies, I did like shorts, you know, I did my day-to-day life there, and I understood that I can't handle the weather. I went to LA. So I went to LA and I did what I did there, and I did some acting, and I did my connections, and I did all those things that promoted me, like I learned to do. But then I understood that I'm homesick while I was in LA. And even if I was close to everything that I'm supposed to do and achieve, and with the acting and the opportunities, I couldn't be away from my family and my connection to the Shanti House, because it's part of me. I was born with the house. I was always working in the house. Even when I was in New York, I would come to Israel for a while and work in the Shanti House and then go back. Even when I was in LA, and when I came back, I realized that it becomes harder and harder for me to do that, to stay away. And I had this big question: do I want to live my entire life away from my roots?
Right.
Now, some people can do that. Some people are great with it. I understood that I'm not. And I understood that for me, being away from my roots makes me weaker. And it's harder for me to achieve what I want, because I'm a little bit lost in my dreams. That's where I understood that I became a little bit of a slave of my dreams, because even if I was suffering so much, really like heartaches, I was still like doing what I needed to do in order to do my acting in LA. And then I understood that I have to look in the mirror and I have to be honest
with what you want,
with what I really want. And even if it's not my idea of my success, of my dreams,
Wow.
So you have to be very brave to do that, because I know a lot of people that wouldn't go back until they succeeded. You know what I mean? And
whatever that arbitrary meaning of success means.
And then they're suffering for a long time in their life.
I think something that has to be redefined in society is that arbitrary thought of success,
Right.
Being regular day-to-day job, having good pay, and having an amazing, beautiful family could be
success.
An amazing success.
That can be. It
is
success.
It is, exactly. I think when people pursue the big dream and put it on a pedestal,
right,
it diminishes your location where you are in that spot.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I was saying from the beginning. You can get lost in that big idea of a dream, that if there are people that love you truly in your life, that will do a lot, like will do anything for you, that if you somebody asked me, if you are an actor, you can be actor anywhere. Why do you have to do it if you love it so much? Why do you have to do it only in those conditions? That was a good question, because then I understand what I'm looking for. Am I looking for fame or to do what I love?
Right.
So I had to be honest as well.
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
You gotta have those moments of rethinking your dreams. And
do a switch. Because I understood that I don't want to live this way anymore. I don't want to be in the jail of my dreams. Because I've seen in LA so many ghosts. People that are just, they're almost there, but it's always a step away from them. Right. And life is short. It's short, and it goes like this. And I don't want to live my life with what if. I want to live my life, period. So that's when I did the step of going back to Israel. And you know what? It's funny, because life has this thing of a really good sense of humor, special sense of humor. So I went back to Israel. I had to break up from a boyfriend of 5 years. He was an American, so that was another thing that I needed to deal with. And I came back, and I was supposed to start working in Shanti House and start functioning, and I was a little bit destroyed from being disappointed with myself, because I was disappointed from my choices and from who that I didn't become the person that I wanted to become. So I needed to deal with that crisis for a while, to redefine again who do I want to become? What do I want to do? What really matters to me? And my mom, which she's incredible, she's outstanding. She has a TEDx about Shanti House, so definitely should listen to it if you want to listen about people that want to make their dreams come true and they have nothing in life.
That'll definitely be linked in the show notes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She told me, I told her, Mom, I have nothing to give to those kids. I can't do anything. She said, just come, just show up. And she was right. It just showed up. And being with them really saved me. It helped me to go back to my track of my dreams and my road of life. And what do I want to do? And then I got into agency in Israel, Jarhead, which are great and they're very well known here. And they told me at the beginning, listen, we only work with Israel. We're not working with abroad. And I said, well, I want to work in Israel. I don't care anymore. I'm fine with that. But what happened was that a few months later, there was a big audition in Israel for a movie with Oscar Isaac. The name of the movie, it's a Netflix movie, Operation Finale. Final. Or Operation Final, something like that. I'm sorry. It's a really it's a big movie.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac, but the agent from London that did those auditions from Israel was all over the world. Basically, my audition became, I was asked for availability. Just being in that stage and being in that place where you are running for this role with really great talent that I personally love and admire. So that made her take me on. And then I had an agent, a manager in London. So I started auditioning for Netflix shows and movies. And a year and a half ago, I did an audition for a movie of Universal. It's a sequence. It's the fourth sequence of Jarhead, and I got the role. And I did it, and it's great. And it's now on Netflix in the United States, and it's also in other channels in VOD in Israel. So it's funny that you give up the idea of what you were supposed to do and where you're supposed to do it in the United States, in LA, and you go back home to connect to your roots where your soul feels whole, and it comes to you.
Right. That's incredible.
And now I live my life close to my family. I still work in the Shanti House, but I still audition to the biggest projects that are going on right now in the world. And I had some almost this year that were I was flown to London to the new movie of Eurovision. The Eurovision movie. Yeah. I was one of the last two. I was me and another actress, and she took it. I was flown to fucking London. Sorry, I was flown to London. Yeah. So so you have a lot of almost, but when you have an almost, you know that you're in the right road. And again, it's life. When I came back, when I came back, I was so broken that I understood that I need to rework my strengths and to find my voice. And from a very therapeutic place, I wanted to work on my voice. So I started to work with an amazing coach, and we started like working. And then she told me like, well, try to write a song. And I said, I don't write songs. And she said, just try. And then she gave me this great exercise, and I did it. And she really liked my writing. And she said, well, try to do the melody as well, to compose it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, well, I don't know how to play anything. And she said, just try. And then I started to compose a new song. And then during that time when I was working with her, we discovered that I even do it better in English. That I compose and write songs in English, and with her together, we created more than 15 songs.
Wow.
During a year and a half of work. And after a year and a half, she was saying to me, well, I think you need to record. And I'm like, what? I'm not a singer. And she said to me, well, you sing and you write and you compose, so it's better, let's try.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried. And what's amazing is that wasn't part of my dream list, you know. It's part of my performance, you know, as an actor, on stage. But I never thought about it as my goal as in my career. And I recorded the song, and it was pretty good. It was even really good. And I understood that I want to do a music video to it. So I did a head start. Now, the funny thing is that, you know, people know that I act and dance because I was a dancer and an actor. But nobody knew that I'm singing, writing songs, because I kept it privately. Mm-hmm. Because I didn't want anybody to know that. Right. Because I was so ashamed, and, you know. So when I did the head start, I needed literally to convince people to invest in my new song with my new music video when nobody knows that I'm singing. And I did that. I raised the money, and I was lucky to work with Daniel Kaminsky, which is a fashion photographer and also an amazing music video director. And and he's a good friend, and I told him, like, listen, you're gonna do my music video. And you don't do that to Daniel Kaminsky, but I did, because I am very
risk taker.
I'm a risk taker. Literally, I am a risk taker. Definitely, when you come to Daniel Kaminsky like this, usually will tell you, well, this is the door, bye. And I told him, but listen, before he answered, I told him, if you like the song, if you don't like the song, you're not gonna do this. Because he asked me, like, you sing? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? I'm like, well, just if you like the song, you're gonna do the music video. And he listened to the song. Sorry, if you listen to the song, and he listened to the song, and he was like, okay, I like it. This is good. Oh my God, wow. You know, he was so excited. And you know what's amazing about dreams? When you share it with people, and you open the door to other people to come in, they can make your dream bigger than what you expected when you fulfill it. And that's what happened to me with this music video, because basically Daniel joined my journey, and he needed to go into a reality show at 2025, and and they gave him a short notice of 2 weeks while we were talking about the music video, and then he said to me, well, we can only shoot next week. Now it's a lot to do in 1 week. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I produced it in 1 week. And life and God, higher power, light, call it whatever, were with me while I was doing a lot of other things. For other people, I was doing this as well. But you know, it's give and take. Mm-hmm. And the universe does for you if you just, keep going.
Right.
Just keep going. And then Michael Lewis, which was a friend from New York, joined to the music video before the incident. But he joined, and he's so professional and is so talented in what he does when it comes to performance. And I had Gili Al-Gabi as styling and makeup, which is also one of the biggest makeup artists in Israel. And I had my sister, which is Shanti Ashanti. She's a hairstylist, and she worked in New York with Victoria's Secret and like biggest names, and also works here in Israel with fashion. So she did my hair. And in 1 week, I made the impossible happen with a lot of help. I didn't do it alone. I would never be able to do this alone. But I didn't have ego about how things should be also.
Right.
I took the right people that I knew that they're really good in what they do.
You built a proper team.
Exactly. And they did what I couldn't do. The vision that Daniel saw, I have ideas, but he took it to a different level.
Mm-hmm.
He saw my art, and he knew how to even make it better.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an amazing cinematographer, and again, everybody did such great work, and it happened. The magic happened. And one day I shot it, and he went into the reality show, and only when he went back
started working on it.
He started working on it, and only like after 3 months I actually saw what was going on there, because I was so busy during the shoot days. I never even seen like all the footage.
Right.
I didn't know how it looked like.
Mm-hmm.
And it was amazing because it came true. And I was lucky that certain people that saw my music video really wanted to help me with promoting it. And then it got a big buzz, and it was, promoted in Channel 24. And I had a big article in Israel Hayom. And, it just happened by itself because I did my work.
Right. You pushed it forward, yeah.
I pushed it forward, and it's like a drug of if you did it once, you will want to do it again. But you have to understand, it can never happen the same. So my next song happened, I wrote it in the street while talking with a friend. I didn't write it, it was just hearing it in my head, like I do when I compose. And we were talking, my friend, which is incredible, it's Uri Choestarisky, which is also one of the producers of Jarhead, and became a good friend after the movie. Mm-hmm. And he's a dear friend. And we were talking about society today, and about the fact that we lost kindness. We lost our kindness a little bit. And the codes of society and our expectations of how things should be and look, with women are so tough, men lost their manhood. Everybody's like doing everything, and I think that's why Corona came, to just mellow it. Like, chill down, people. You need to think about what you did so far and rethink it, and then start all over again. I really hope people will learn something from that. And while we were talking, I was telling him, we're animals, and we kind of lost that simplicity. It's not about like being an animal, kill and get killed. It's about animal kill only when they need to. They are connected to nature. They respect like Earth. They respect the beings that are around them if we are not under attack. And they have this like the man, like in women, female and male, it's balanced, it's fine. We're not the same. We're equal as human beings, but we're not built the same. You know what I mean? So all those things came in that song, and I started to do the first beat that became the chorus of the song. And that's how it started. And after I was working with my coach as well, and we did it together, I knew that this is the next song. I knew that that's my next song. But it happened before. It happened like before I was ready to do it. So it took time till I was ready to record, because music business is very expensive, guys. You have no idea. And if it's a hobby, it's a very expensive hobby. And if it's part of your fulfilling you, it's still worth it. But it means that it will take longer to do it.
Right.
And you need a lot of patience. So time passed by, the first song happened, the success and all that. And then I was ready to record that song that I was writing before that day. Yeah. So then we were recording it, and it became an explosion of a song. And it's not out yet. But I knew that now I don't have the tools to raise more money. And then I did some dancing, just dancing video with Gabriel, with your brother.
Yeah.
Because life invited it to me because of Uwe. It's people that that like you and just believe in you, and small things happen, and if you just let it be, it happens to you. And then like Corona started. In the Shanti House, we were all in the desert. We have a home in the desert, and all the youth were there. We were about 100 people helping each other during that time in isolation. Okay, and I was one of the main guides there. And because we're a foundation, because we're still surviving, because we're out of the box, but we do have 80% success. My mom was saying to me, well, it's a difficult time because I don't know how to raise money for the kids, because it's, I can't blame anyone.
Everyone's struggling.
Everybody's struggling right now. And I told her, like, let's do the opposite. Let's give them strength. Let's give them energy to keep going. And she said, okay, let's do a thing. And then we did like an Imagine video, like kids singing. And then she said, no, let's do a Corona song that the kids write. And we did a Corona song that the kids wrote, and we said, let's do a music video for the kids. And again, I do the impossible. In 1 week, we recorded it, edited, produced it, and then we did. And then I said to the kids, well, tomorrow we're gonna shoot it. I had no idea what I was going to do. I was directing it, and I was lucky enough that a cinematographer from Mitzpe, not far away, could come to do it with us. And he didn't even know me, and I was like shouting while I was doing it with all the kids, obviously. And we did it, and then I was sending it to editing, did re-editing myself to the music video, and in 1 week it was out before Passover. And then the cinematographer really liked me, and he looked me up on Instagram, and he said, "You look like, I like the way your
style.
I like the way you're on camera. Let's do a photo shoot." And he said, "Sure, let's." And he wanted to do it in a certain blossoming of a certain time, and we missed that, and then we missed that again. And then he said, "Let's do it in the desert. You can dance with sand." And I said, "Well, you know what? I really want my music video to be in the desert with sand. And
let's just do the music.
Let's just do the music video. I'll do my lip sync. We'll use my music, and you get your videos, and I'll get my materials." And
it all kind of worked out.
And it all kind of worked out, and we did like I improvised, and he went with the flow. And you know, I got a kind of a music video for free, kind of, not really, but kind of, you know, from the world.
Right.
Because the music video is about going back to Earth, in nature.
It's partly what you said earlier, that if you give, sometimes it can give back.
And I was lucky enough that it came out really nice. And after Corona, I gave Daniel Kaminsky to edit it, and he did his magic. And I used also the dancing video that Gabriel did, and that created the next image of what the song is about. And the song is about going back to your inner root and yourself and simplicity and ground you, because life is short and it goes really fast. And if you are being so aware and so lost in what it's supposed to be, you will always lose what it is about.
I agree.
So yeah, so the next song will come out soon, and I'm very excited about it.
Once it does, it'll definitely be featured on...
Oh yeah, definitely. And you know, I do my other projects while I'm doing this.
Alright, so I have one final small little question. What is your morning routine to get yourself going in the morning? When you have a bad day, you don't really want to get out of bed, what goes through your head and what is that routine like?
Well, as not being a morning person, I first of all thank God that I woke up. It's a simple thing. I just think the fact that today I have another opportunity, another day to do something else, something better, to do what I want to do.
Amazing.
Yeah, that's the first thing. If you're talking about it, I like to eat my oatmeal every morning. It's a little bit of an OCD, but I don't mind that I'm addicted to an oatmeal with cinnamon and apples in the morning. I feel it relaxes me, it makes me happy, and even if it belongs to old people, I feel that it's what makes me happy. So I do that. I usually do yoga. You know, I connect to my body, and then I'm ready to rumble, I guess. Just
amazing.
It comes, I'm ready for it.
Amazing. Yeah, I think everyone needs. It's their mornings are always like a personal. So thank you for opening that up, and honestly, I'll give that big thank you for sharing your entire story and sharing your snippets of wisdom for how you went on your journey and pursued all the different things that you've come across and reached. So big thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
For all of you guys that want to access all the information about Shanti Ashanti, you guys can check out all the different links either on the podcast show notes or on YouTube. You guys can link below. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Dreamer Talks. I'd love to have you back again next week, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave a review of what you thought of the podcast. I'd really like the input to make this podcast as engaging and entertaining as possible. So once again, a big thank you, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for watching, and keep on dreaming.